Good evening everyone, and a warm welcome to Mystery Monday here live on Facebook. And thank you so much if you're catching the replay or you're watching over on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to get rid of all the bit at the beginning, just fast forward a little bit and you'll get into the card making a little bit quicker as well. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Lucia Visentin and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. As you pop on, do say hi. I would love to know who's about, where you're from, and have a little bit of a chat. So tonight I thought we'd do a little bit of Valentine's Day, seeing that Valentine's Day is on Friday. So maybe I need to make a card for someone, I'm thinking. So we might do that tonight. You might also get a bit of a preview of it as well, but you know, that's okay. So celebration is still happening. There have been some new products that have come through as well that you can earn. So when we turn around, I'll show you those. So the starter kit special is still on. Now I've been mentioning that a lot on my Thursday, so if you want to know a little bit more about that, go and check out the Thursday tips and tricks. Hello Patty and Natalie and Joan, how are you all? There are last chance products available, and there were some gorgeous new kits released on the 4th of the 2nd, 4th of this month. So I did try to photocopy one of them, but for some reason it didn't come out very well. But there is one that was called Heirloom Arrangements, and it's actually kind of, there are instructions, but you can kind of build your own as well, which is really nice about that. So there is heaps of ephemera in it, so you can do your own thing. So what I might do is we'll turn you around. I'll show you the few extra things that are on the celebration, because there are some quite good little goodies there. Just, we might be a little bit too close, but we'll see. Okay, so celebration we have, and I do have some of these here as well, so I can show you some of them. There is the Planted Paradise. There is the Beautiful Butterflies. So these are all things that you can actually earn if you spend $100 on an order. So there's this one here that's called Natural Botanicals, which is in the mini catalogue. Now the Alphabet a la Mode is something that you were able to get. They have sold out, but I did check today and they're saying that they should be available the week of the 17th of February. So hopefully they do come back in, and if you are ordering towards the end there, you might be able to pop them on your order as well. Hello Glenda. So the other dies that are available are the Trusty Tools. There is the little builder punch that was for the bees, and a label punch. There was the houseplants, the Happy Houseplants kit, and there is a Hooray for Honeycomb kit as well. And then there is this beautiful gold and navy ribbon. And the other thing that was there are the brushed brass butterflies. So there's quite a few things there extra that you can get your hands on that are in the current catalogue. So it's actually worth getting on and just seeing what there is. And it is always nice to get some things for free as well. I must admit, we all like freebies. I'm sure I'm not the only one. So let's get rid of that. Now this was what I printed off of the kits, but like I said, it really, I don't know what happened. It didn't come out very well, but there's lots of butterflies, nature, flowers. They are quite pretty. I will see if I can I'll get a better image up on my page for you so that you can actually have a look at that, because it is, like I said, a really lovely kit. Hello Helen and hi Lee. I've only just been waffling on about Celebration, which I'm sure you probably know all about now, Lee. So the heart-shaped bundle is what I'm using. This is from Celebration, and this is with a $200 spend. The reason why it's with a $200 spend is because you get the stamp set, but you also get some dies. Good evening, Jimothy. So I will be using both tonight. Okay, what I'm also using tonight is watercolour paper. So let us get our watercolour paper here. I'm also just, because I know I'm going to make a big mess and get things wet, I am just going to put some paper down under me as well. So with my watercolour paper, I am wanting to cut out some flowers. So in those dies, there are these little flowers. Okay, and I am going to cut out the heart and the leaves. These ones here, sorry. So I will show you what we're doing there. So with this one here, I want the flowers. So I'm going to grab a few different colours here. I've got Berry Burst, I've got Petunia Pop, and I have Pretty in Pink. Now what I do is I do squeeze my ink pads, and that just gets a little bit of ink inside of the lid, because that's where I'm going to collect it from. If you have the re-inkers to all of these, the re-inkers is a really good thing to use. You could just pop some of that on your Perspex blocks as well. But let's just squeeze these up and we'll just get some in the lids there, okay? So what I'm going to do firstly is wet my cardstock a little bit. So I have got my spritzer, and I am just going to use my spritzer to get a nice little coverage of water on that to begin with. But then what I have is an old Wink of Stella. So my Wink of Stella had run out. I have actually refilled it with some water, so there's still a little bit of Wink of Stella in there. And I am just going to get some of that out so it is a little bit shiny, and we're just spreading some of that water out as well, okay? So I'm making sure that that is really quite saturated. Okay, there you go. You can see that Wink of Stella still. So even though it's an empty Wink of Stella, there's still a fair bit of Wink of Stella in that. Okay, so once we've done that, I'm just going to grab some of my colour and start moving that around a little bit. So I'm just wanting to get a little bit of an ombre thing happening. And then we'll go in with the Petunia Pop. And then take some of that colour off. And we'll come in here with the Pretty in Pink. Hello Anita and hello Renee, how are you both? I hope you've had a bit of the cool weather like we have, Anita, up where you are. I'm just going to fill that in a little bit with some of the... So that's where I'm going to leave that. It is quite saturated. So what you can do now is with your heat tool, you can actually dry that a little bit. So you can give it a little bit of a zip. Now, I'm probably not going to worry too much about that because I have already done a little bit of this beforehand. So this is what I did before, and as you can see, I've already cut all my flowers out of it too. So you can probably see there, hopefully on camera, that that is quite shiny. So even with just that little bit of Wink of Stella on it, it does do a really lovely job. So we'll just pop that aside somewhere that I'm not going to get colour everywhere. And then I was going to do a little bit of the same with the green. pop those out of the way for a minute, and I'll bring my old olive. I do love my old olive. So whereabouts are you, Lee? Because obviously you've got a bit of heat there too. So again, just with my spritzer, popping some water on, and then with my wink of Stella, and I am just trying to get some of that wink of Stella out as well. And I'm just going to go into my green here. And this one I will be a little bit more random because I don't really care where the colour lands on this one. But with the water, it is going to help it just all spread. And being a little bit random is nice because what I want to do with this is actually cut out that heart. Newcastle, New South Wales, so warm there as well. We've had a really cool day here today in Melbourne, thank goodness, but I think if that's the last of it, I think we've got some mid to high 30s coming up. So again, that's nice and shiny with that little bit of wink of Stella in it as well, and quite wet with the water also. So again, with this one, you can actually heat that up with the heat tool. And when that's heated up, you will get, when it's dry, not just heated up, you will get that kind of thing. How do you get the ink onto the lids? Just squeeze them, Lee. And I don't know why, but if you squeeze them from the back, they actually end up with more ink on them when you squeeze from the back. For some reason, squeezing them from the front isn't as effective. So turn it round and give it a really good hard squeeze so that foam pad is actually touching the inside of the lid. Okay. And like I said, if you do have the re-inkers, you can use the re-inkers and just pop a couple of drops onto your blocks as well. So that's the other way of doing it without worrying about that. So what I have then done is I have them all cut out. And like I said, there are quite a few flowers there, so I didn't particularly want to cut them all out in front of you. Hello, Kim, how are you? Because that would be really, really boring. But as you can see, there is a whole heap of different colours, like graduating colours in that. Do you know what I probably don't have though? Is the heart. Here we go. I do have it. It's here. And that's my little heart with the different bits of green in it too. So that is what we're going to use on our card, but I'll pop that aside because there's a little bit more that we're going to do to our card as well. So with our card, I have a regular card base, which is our 21 by 14.85, scored at 10.5. I have a mount of 14.35 by 10. And then I've got another mount, which I've just got 0.3 smaller. So it's just over 14 centimetres by 9.7 for that one. So that's just got a tiny little border on it. And I'll explain why in a minute when we get there. So firstly, what I'm going to do is stamp a heart on here. And I'm going to stamp it a little bit further up than halfway. And make sure that my stamp is all inked up nicely. And like I said, we'll just go sort of up this way and to the right hand side of the card. So we've got that kind of thing done. And then what I will do is quickly clean that stamp. But I will get, and I think I did put it away today, is my embossing folder. And it's one of my favourites, I must admit. I do use this one to death. It is the Distress Tile folder. And I'm just going to pop that inside. Bring up my cut and emboss machine. And my plates. So I've got plate number 1. Put my embossing folder through with the hinge side, and the hinge side is that fold side going through first, and then the grey plate on top, which is plate number 4. So then I have this kind of thing. So what I'm going to do with this now is just add a little bit of colour as well. So I am going to use my dark berry burst blend, and we're just going to give that a bit of a flick, okay? Probably just a bit inside. There you go. The other thing, actually, there was one more thing, because I am just going to add a tiny bit of silver. I know we don't have silver, but I have got a little bit of Winsor Newton ink here in the silver. Again, I've got a Wink of Stella brush, an old one. I do love using the old Wink of Stella brushes. They are fantastic. And the good thing about them is because the nib is moist all the time, because you've got the water in the barrel, it keeps the nibs really well. There you go. So with this one, I am just dunking it in, and I am just going to tap it, because I don't want a whole heap. I just want a little bit, and that's actually going to put, it's actually got a fair bit on there. I think that's all I'm going to use, but that's quite silver. You can see how silver that is over there. So what I will do with that later, like I've taken a fair bit of the silver off it, but I will run a little bit more water. Oh, sorry, I'm probably off camera a little bit. I will run a little bit more water through that, and just wipe the tip of it as well. But we'll just pop that out of the way for now. So now that we've done all of that, now I'm going to start with all my little flowers. So what I'm going to do firstly is I do want that just to go over what I have stamped, just to mute it down a little bit so it's not quite as dark anymore. So we will just pop a bit of glue behind this. I'm still just using the liquid glue. I'm just trying to get it on most of those little leaves as well, just so it adheres nicely. If you find you've got too much glue on it, you can actually let the Tombow glue dry a little bit, because it still will be tacky. The silver was a Winsor & Newton ink that I purchased a little while back. So it's a silver metallic aluminium. Yeah, silver metallic aluminium is the colour of it. So I will pick this up now. And we'll pop that over the top of what we have here. Coming off the edge a little bit, that doesn't matter, because remember, this is our top mount. So I've still got 2 other layers that are coming out a little bit further after this. So now I've got another little technique for you. Oh, and I did forget to say, when I was doing the watercolouring, I was using the Fluid 100 paper, and I don't know whether you realise, but when you do use it, it is actually a little bit creamer than our white. But because we're colouring it, it doesn't matter. So that's not a problem, because once you've got the colour on the top of it, it's very similar, okay? well, not very similar, it's similar to the colours that you're using at least. So there are two options with these little flowers. So as you can see, there's one little flat one here, and there's one here that the leaves are a little bit, the petals are a little bit curled up on. So we can either do that with our, take your pick tool, pop them in the palm of your hand and just squeeze in the middle, and that just gives you a nice little bit of curl. Again, using our take your pick tool, and I think I've done this before with you, we can actually use the stylus end, which does come with your take your pick, and we can just rub in the center of that flower. And can you see the petals? They just start curling up really nicely there. This is probably something I could have done beforehand as well. But that will just give them all a nice little bit of shape. The reason why I put them all on my board like this is because I just wanted the graduation of colour still to be there, because when I put the flowers onto my card, I want it to go from dark to light. So we'll see if we can still get that to happen. Like I said, I'm just applying that little bit of pressure to the middles of them. And to adhere them, I will use our trusty little friends, the glue dots, which will work a treat with this as well. And the reason for doing this beforehand is because then it's all nice and dry as well. I haven't got the worry, excuse me, of anything being a little bit damp still with that watercolouring that I've done. So let's bring that back in. Hopefully we've got enough flowers there, and we can start popping them on our card. So I am going to start from the top, and we'll start with the darker colour. I'm just going to place them around the heart. You might even go up that way a bit more, that's better. Just so that we can see a little bit of the greenery this way as well. So, like I said, there are a few little flowers, so this will take a little bit more than my usual cards, because there are so many little flowers on here. But I just thought it was such a cute little card. Now, some of you may have seen one similar to this before, because when Celebration started and I did my launch, I did have one of these made up as well, but I'd not made it up for a live yet. And it's probably been one of my cards I've been the happiest with for a long time. So I did want to show you how to make it. And you could always do this in different shades of red as well. Like I have chosen pink. And to be honest, I'll tell you why I have chosen pink as well. We have a team challenge, and one of the cards we have to make is a pink card. So I thought this would be fantastic, because then I can use it for our team challenge. And this can be my pink card. I think it fits the bill quite nicely. What colours would you do it in if you were doing it? So I'm thinking pink's nice. Also red would be good. And you know what? A blue card would be nice, just for a blue heart for an I'm thinking of you. Someone's a little down in the dumps. A blue heart would always be good. So you can see I'm just trying to pick the flowers in order of colour that they are. Oh, I hope my Valentine likes pink. Didn't even think to, actually I know he doesn't like pink. Pink is his. Definitely red, yeah. Oh, you'll get to see my cards from the team challenge. I suppose if the team want to put them up on the page, they're quite welcome to, because there have been some beautiful, beautiful cards, I must admit. Jackie, who's on tonight, has made one. She's made a few, not just one, and hers are just amazing. She does beautiful cards. I must admit, a lot fussier than my cards, but just lovely. She popped a green one up, it might have been a couple of days ago actually, which was just awesome. It was beautiful. Yes, I'll ask the girls and see if they don't mind them being put up. Oh, do you know what? John does wear pink to work, so I must admit. They often have their, oh, I don't know whether they do it at the school they're at now. They used to have, they'd wear their pink shirts on a pink shirt day. Highland Heather would be gorgeous too. So we might just go one more and another one here to finish it off. So I'm only just doing the one side of it. Okay, so that's as far as they will go. And then I'll have loads of little flowers to use on my next card now as well. And we do have a few little leaves here, so let us pop some of these in. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to lift up my flowers and use the glue dot that's under there. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there you go. That's good. So just putting new glue dots under there as well. Yeah, I'll see if I can do that, Patty, because it is lovely to see other people's creations and what they do, and their styles as well, because everyone does have completely different styles, which is always lovely to see. And like I said, just getting a few of those little bits of green in. It's a bit dark. Actually, I think I want them to go under a little bit more. I can kind of see a bit too much of them. There you go. So once I have done that, the next thing, I don't know, I'm always, I like being able to feel what I'm doing, so I'm not a big tweezers girl, I must admit. The other thing I was going to do, just to add a little bit more to this, is I do have the iridescent pearls as well. So I've got one pack that's almost done. I do have another pack here as well. And there are 3 sizes. I think here I've only got the 2 sizes left now, so we'll go with some of them with what's left here. And I will just do different sizes on them all as well. I probably won't use the tiny ones. I think they're probably, oh, I might do actually. No, they look okay as well. We'll use the tiny ones too. We'll use all 3 sizes. That means I can use some of them up then. Oops. Be careful when you slide them off, because if you slide them off onto the cardboard, they will stick to the cardboard. That's probably enough little ones. We'll go another big one down here. Oh, thank you, Natalie. Like I said, I was really, I really liked it. It's not very often I make a card and I go, that's exactly what I was wanting for it, how I was wanting it to churn out, but this one definitely did. And like I said, and I do think that even just having all the gems on it just added to it as well. What do you do when you're pulling your gems off? Do you always pull them off in a row, or do you just go willy-nilly wherever? I'm very much, I must have a bit of OCD, I think. I like to do things in order. Alrighty, so that is our card so far. And can you see the sparkle on it? There is quite a bit of sparkle on that too, which is nice. Now I have done this a little bit beforehand as well because I knew it was going to take a fair bit of time. I've just, and this is all from the same stamp set, which again I've put down and can't find. I did this before I came on, I couldn't find where I put my stamp set. So the stamp set comes with My Heart Loves Your Heart, thank you. My Thoughts of You are all heart-shaped, Just Because I Care, and Hello. So I've actually just on a little black scrap, embossed in white, Just Because I Care. And now all the embossing is on page 136 in the annual catalogue if you are needing to know any of that. I do have a pair of scissors here, so I am just going to cut one end off, and we'll do that end straight. But the other end I'm just going to do on a bit of an angle. And we will pop this on dimensionals, and we'll just pop it over the bottom here, I think. So I do have, I've got a whole heap of bits here left over from kits. In one of the kits they must have had these nice long bits of dimensional. So I am just going to use that. And I am just going to put it on one side because the other side is actually going to be on top of the flowers and the, I might go up just a little bit. That's a bit better. There you go. So the next thing, we have our cards. Might just grab this little one here and we'll do just a little bit on the inside. So I'm going to use my Pretty in Pink, which is the lighter colour. But I don't think I will do it full strength. I think I will go half. So I'm going to stamp off, and then stamp in, stamp off, and then stamp in. And we'll do a little bit with the green, the old olive. I've got these tiny little leaves here. So we will stamp off, stamp a little bit. And like I said, always stamping off there. Stamp off again. Just at the side. How's that? So we've got our inside done. So what I'm going to do with this is actually glue it down to another mount. The reason why I'm going to do that is, good afternoon or good evening, Vicky, how are you? Because it's been embossed, it sometimes doesn't sit really flat. So I figure if we glue it, at least that layer then will sit nice and flat. Again, because it's embossed, I'm going to put a decent amount of glue on it so it does get inside those little divoty bits, because there's all different layers there. I've only got a 3mm difference, so there's not a huge amount of difference between one layer and the other. But like I said, it's not even so much for the mount as it is, so it's just going to straighten up my embossed piece. And what I'll do to that is now I'll pop this one on dimensionals. Now, what am I doing for Valentine's Day? Oh wow, I'm actually having a class on Valentine's Day. How exciting! Our February class falls on Valentine's Day this year, which is really lucky because we don't usually go anywhere for Valentine's Day anyway. So a class is a perfect thing to do on Valentine's Day. I hope no one else does anything on Valentine's Day because I didn't really think of that when I did the class or booked it in. Oh, purple would be nice. He is right. Purple is John's favourite colour. But purple is a good colour, and there's and again you could do a nice variation in purple too, because you've got your gorgeous grape, your Highland heather, and what else could you use? Your fresh freesia, I'm thinking, would be a nice last colour as well. And you wouldn't want to see me here. I am throwing dimensionals all over the place here. I was aiming for the bin and they've gone all over the floor. Oh well. That's all right. I'll clean it up later. Okay. And when you're trying to line something up, it's probably best to go from one corner. To get that all down. So how is that? That is our little card for tonight. So like I said, a little bit of work, but if you're making a card for someone special, it's worth putting a little bit of time into it, I think. And I think that makes up a really nice card. And you could even do a little bit of blending in here too. I was thinking would be nice just to get a little bit more colour. I don't know whether I've got colours on my blending brush. Let's have a look. And if we go in a light colour, here we go. Yeah, so the blending is always nice because it just softens the stamping on the inside as well. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, ladies. Joan and Vicky. I'm just putting that scrap paper there just so that when I do my blending I'm not getting it on the other side of my card as well. Let's get that out of the way before I put my card into it, because I know that can happen easily enough. So there you go, one card finished. So that's the card from tonight. This is the one I did the other day, quite a while ago now actually. And there's just a couple of differences. So with this one I've actually stamped the heart underneath, which I think looks a little bit nicer. I've actually splattered it with a darker colour because I did actually do a lot more of the darker flowers on there as well. And see how wobbly it is? Whereas our next one's not as wobbly. So it is a good idea to put that other mount behind it, because I do think that does help heaps. The ephemera in the mini catalogue for Valentine's Day is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for reminding me It's probably a little bit late to order it unless you're going to expedite it. But let me find it. There is this Celebrate Love Mix and Match ephemera pack. That is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I should actually buy it. Is there cricket on? Yeah, John will be watching the cricket if cricket is on, but we will see. He'll probably be sitting out here. No, he won't be sitting out here with me. He doesn't usually for the classes. Excuse me. So that is all I have for there. I do have a host code. Sorry, I'm just grabbing it from the front here. So that is my host code for this month. So if anyone is popping in an order, it would be lovely if you could use that. And my classes have been filling up really fast. So I have actually been selling out. I do have a retreat in March as well, and that has sold out also. So what I might do is sooner rather than later, I might put up dates for my next couple of retreats even. So my classes are always the second Friday of every month. So if anyone's interested in those, I do online classes. But if you're interested in my retreats, they are here at home in Melbourne. We're in Doncaster. But like I said, I will get some dates up for that so that if anyone else would like to join in for the next ones, that would be really good. I'll give you plenty of notice for them as well. So thank you very much all for joining me and sticking with me again tonight. Fantastically. I did get them out nice and early this time. Everyone's even got their PDF, which I usually send on Friday. So I think I've done really well this time. Definitely more organised than usual. Again, thank you. I will say bye now and have a lovely week. And hopefully I'll see you on Thursday and we will do some watercolouring as well. So thanks a lot for joining me. Much appreciated. See you later. Bye.